Hello and welcome to today's video as we go over what the Hall of Fame 2025 ballot will be on the Discord. If you're new to the channel, which I think we've had a couple thousand subscribers in the past year, and many might still watch the content. Um, on the Discord every year, so I started this in 2023. I did celebrating, I forget how many years we are in, 13 years or whatever the fuck we were in. Classes of Hall of Famers, 6 per class. So we voted 12 times throughout the year, 13 times throughout the year, however many times it was, based on my Hall of Fame doc that I have. The document accounts for all stats and accolades determined by stats by me to determine who ended up on the ballot, and then the Discord decides to pick 15 of the 60 players on the original ballot, and then we take those 15 and we pick 6 from those 15 based on voting to determine who ends up in the Hall of Fame class. To end up on the ballot, a player has to be retired for 2 seasons or out of organized play for 2 seasons, where that organized play could lead to being in Tier 1 or an opportunity to win Worlds. Theoretically, that means all these ERL players, especially the ones, you think about like a player like Reckless. Great example. He would be in the Hall of Fame already if it wasn't for the fact that he was still kicking around and playing. That's an example. A couple players that came back this year, Doinby and Ghost, for example. Belter came back into NACL. Those 3 players were removed. They were voted into the Hall of Fame at some point because they'd been retired for 2 years and away from the game. Now, on this ballot here, we have the 60 players that are going to appear. Oh, geez. Cat almost tripped me. Appear on the 2025 ballot based on Hall of Fame points. So, in the LPL, so players that majority played in the LPL, I could be a little off. There are some players that appeared in multiple regions. I just kind of assigned them to where I think of them most. But Uzi, Baolon, Ning, Xie, Zero, Aaron, a coach, iBoy, who surprisingly, I didn't. So I really got into league in 2018, but really took on. I was a fan of Optic, FPS, and then Optic joined League, and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch League, and then I really loved the game of League. I really enjoy what it offers, and so I didn't really focus on other regions all that much. It was just LCS and Optic. Optic leaves, I don't give a shit about anybody else, and now I am doing this. But iBoy started his career at like 15, 16 years old in the LPL. Technically, I think 15. If you look at, he's 25 now as of July, and he started in spring 2016. So do the math. That's insane. And he has been out of the league for 2 years. It is crazy to think that iBoy is on this board when there are some players that are only getting their first opportunity at 24 years old. Think of Supa. He was 23, 24 years old, right? iBoy already, his career was over by then. It is insane that it's just insane. And who knows, he may be a good candidate to end up getting removed from the Hall of Fame if he gets a team going forward. Going, Ben and Lamau. LCS, you got Bjergsen, Someday, Svenskeren, Hanser, Coach Kane. Stixay, Reggie as a player, I separate whether your playing career from your coaching career. Ownership career is separate. So this is based on his play. Darshan, the odd one, and Elements. LCK, and you're going to see, why are there less LCK players? 26 of the players that are already in, predominantly LCK players. 11 LCS, 12 LPL. So the LCK, Blank, Clid, Haru, Spirit, Kramer, Lustboy, Snowflower, and Shy. I do understand Clid has off the Rift issues. He ended up on the list anyways. He's had a good career. If he doesn't get voted in due to those off the Rift issues, that's fine. PCS, you have 9 players already in. Then you have Unified, Annex, Mistake, Boss Blurry, and Chashow, formerly known as Fluid Wind, a coach in the LMS and LPL. Russia, no longer in existence as a region. part of Europe, but they have 4 players already in the Hall of Fame. But we have Edward, also known as Gasu or Gasu Pepper, maybe. Nomans, Kira, Santos, Boss, and Smurf. TCL, so Turkey, similar to Russia, we have 2 players already in, and then Zeitnot, Thaldrin, and Crystal. Japan, 1 player is in. Then we have Tussle, Dara, and Kazu, who was a coach of DFM for a long time. Europe. So Europe already has 9 players in. There's only 2 players on the current ballot. Many European players still kicking around. Like I said, Reckless is an example. That, still's playing. Yankos and Perks. 2 players that just recently stopped playing. So expect these players to filter in on the ballots in the coming years. And they're not retired enough. Fully retired to end up on this board. Young Buck as a coach and Melisson as well. VCS, we have 1 player in, and then Slay and Archie. Brazil, I think that's Archie as a player. It shouldn't be Archie as a coach. Brazil, 1 player's already in, and then you have Yang and Kami. Latin America, 1 player's already in, and then you have Plugo, Newbie, Giral, and Archie. And then OS, the only region without anybody currently in the Hall of Fame. Tally, Chippies, Babip, Triple, and Swiffer as a player are the people on the ballot. So on the Discord, I'm going to post this. It's already posted, actually. I'm going to post it, on Monday during the day when I'm at work. For those people to get a head start. But if you would like to participate, join the Discord and vote on the 15 players off of this board that you think should move on to the group of 6. There is a player discussions forum on there. Do not talk negatively about players, but if you have a player that you think does not get the respect they deserve, maybe it's from one of these regions here, not Europe, obviously. People know mostly European players, but the predominantly minor region players, if you'd like to, make their case, I think that would be a nice thing to do. Just positivity would be cool. If not, don't worry about it. Comment section, do not be, posting in the comment section is going to be absolutely useless in terms of trying to make a vote, because I'm not going to count what happens in the comment section. So if you would like to join the Discord and participate, that would be nice. There will be a thread under the channel with the hall, and I think you got to go to the rules and process, read how it works. I already went over them briefly. And then under voting, you'll see the thread and vote accordingly on there. Pick 15. If you pick more than 15, you will not be eligible. And please do your research on players that you may not know much about. When I do the Hall of Fame document and the stats, all domestic stats and accolades are treated equally. It's the international results that end up setting a player apart from another in terms of the Hall of Fame. That's why there's so many players on the ballot that went to international events versus those that don't. And players that went to a ton of international events in a minor region are going to end up on the ballot as well. So thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube supporter. And hope to see you again tomorrow.